Hello everyone, I'm here to show you one of my most favorite things I've ever made. It is a micro precision benchtop cooling unit, cooling wand for lack of better terms. And first off, I'm going to show you what it came from. I was in construction for years. Basically, it's a cat litter box that I put great stuff for the insulation in there, and basically I would take a frozen ocean spray bottle, fill it with water, freeze it, put it in here, you close the lid, turn the fan on, and cold air comes out of these two ports. It won't cool a room or anything, but if you're doing attic work or just very hot, you can go up to it and it just helps you cool off. And I can't remember specifically what I was doing that I needed this for, but I capped these off and put a piece of tubing to it, a syringe to it to blow it. It just didn't do exactly what I wanted, but it worked. So, and then came this. And what it is basically an inside chamber, which is a Jif jar, and the outside being a Folgers coffee can. And what I did is I took the Jif jar and I took household wire because of the copper content, and I have it. I wanted it for insulation. Copper, as you know, homogeneously takes on hot or cold. You know, it goes immediately through, conducts it through the whole body of it. And I wrapped the whole thing so it would keep the chamber cold, essentially making insulation. Actually, it isn't a heat sink. I don't know what to call it. Technically the insulation is the great stuff, but I wrapped it with that. Then I proceeded to wrap, and I taped that to keep it in place. And then I wrapped my 1/4-inch aquarium line. And I wish I would have kept track, to tell you exactly how much, feet it was. But wrapped it around. I drilled my two outside holes where my pump's going in and my cold air's coming out. And then, slowly had to feed it through and make sure you cut your lines because it's real hard to get your hands in there to feed it through. I held it in there and then put the great stuff. And remember, you can always add more great stuff because it started coming out of all the penetrations and everything. It was a mess, and I had originally planned to use the original coffee can lid to make this. It was a lot neater. It's not bad, but it was a lot neater in my head. But, it all worked out. And what I used to cover it now is a silicone softy. It's made for housewares, kitchen, for covering bowls and all that, but they're cheap. And I discovered, here, I got a pack of them, 6 with different sizes for $9.99, and they're great. With this, it's an insulation thing. I use it on my pickle. I use a beaker and a pickle, and it keeps it from exposing, non-corrosive. But great little silicone. They're good for all kinds of stuff. But you can put ice in there. This is a 20-ounce bottle frozen and shoved in. And this is a cheap aquarium pump. This one had to be a 2-port. It came with a T and all that. And since I originally made this, I've added a foot pedal. And what, to get down to practices with it, is it's for spruing. I have a hard time, I don't know if I get them too hot or whatever. And I'm sorry about the angle. I'm not the cameraman to have it close enough and have everything in frame. But to get the premise is, and I'm using both my hands now. God damn it. And you go like that. Okay, and it's not blowing a lot of volume because you don't want to move anything or disturb anything. But you go like that to dry. It's a lot quicker than your breath. And see, I just have the worst luck. See, this is slumping a little, but I got it now. I'll slump, I'll get something just right, and I'll turn around and look, and it's like, and it's going to be touching the flask, and that just drives me nuts. So, but the other application, and I haven't tried this personally yet, is for soldering. I wonder if I could keep this in my left hand, my torch in my right, and to keep heat away from a side of piece of jewelry. And I hadn't really messed with it. I thought about taking my thermometer to figure out what kind of heat sink it could produce. So, and I'm almost thinking now to do away with the foot pedal and just have it constantly on because it's not that big of a deal blowing around because it's you can just barely feel it. You saw me put it up to my lip to see if it was on, but that is one of my favorite things I've ever made. And if you want to make one, great. It's pretty simple. And there you are.